You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the top 10 traps in horror movies that are near impossible to survive. This is your spoiler alert.
My parents are gonna think I'm such a burnout.
Number 10, Giant Oven, Escape Room. Lured by the promise of a large cash prize, 6 people find themselves trapped in a series of deadly rooms, where every puzzle could mean life or death. Although each segment is meant to be tougher than the last, the giant oven scene at the start truly sets an eerie tone.
What the literal hell?
Oh, hey!
Okay, I'm not stopping you, please.
You're stressing everyone out here, okay? Just go get some water and take off your damn jacket, all right?
All right, we gotta find a way out of this easy bake oven.
It all begins in a seemingly normal waiting room, which the players soon realise is their first challenge. Things get terrifyingly real as the room's heat gets cranked up, turning it into a massive oven.
Wait, what? Wait, fire!
Is that up the whole time? Oh my god.
In full panic, these players scramble to solve the clues and uncover a hidden door to escape. Luckily, they make it out just before the room's engulfed in flames. That was close. A second slower, and they'd all have been toast.
Hell. Jesus. Talk about immersive.
Number 9, Erins' Front Door. You're next. Adam Wingard's slasher flick might start off as your basic break-in horror, but with Shani Vincent's tough-as-nails lead, it changes the game. Where other female characters might scream or freeze, Erin does the opposite. Using her survivalist background, she invents brutal ways to take out her attackers. Even when injured, she stays a step ahead with clever booby traps. One of the best is a rigged front door that swings an axe down on anyone who dares open it. It's one inescapable trap because once the door opens, there's no reversing it. While it misses its original target, it clears the head off of a cop who shot Erin, thinking she's the villain.
No, don't!
Perhaps Erin deserves a spot beside the trap mastermind, Jigsaw. Number 8, The Mausoleum, Saw 4. Designed by the Saw franchise's resident mastermind, John Kramer, this trap is a pure nightmare fuel, pitting 2 victims against each other in a ruthless struggle for survival. In this case, Art and Trevor wake up in a mausoleum chained by the neck to a large device. But here's the kicker. Trevor's eyes have been sewn shut, and Art's mouth is completely sealed, making communication impossible.
Talk to me!
Blind and terrified, Trevor begins hurling weapons in Art's direction, who tries to calm him. But as they're pulled closer to this device, their fear skyrockets, and a brutal fight soon breaks out. It ends with Art killing Trevor after retrieving the key attached to Trevor's collar. The poor guy never stood a chance in this twisted game. Number 7, The Slice and Dice, Cube. Right from the start, this horror gem grabs your attention with its irresistible premise, packed with surprises and inventive booby traps. Imagine being stuck in an elevator. Terrifying, right? Now imagine that this elevator is a death trap, ready to slice you up if you take the wrong step. That's exactly what happens to Alderson, who finds himself trapped in this box. He wanders into the wrong room, takes a single fateful step, and in a split second, he's sliced into smaller cubes. The craziest part of this trap? You can't survive or avoid it because it's over even before you realise what's happening. Throw in the claustrophobia and fear of the unknown, and you'll see why no one can beat this easily. Number 6, Dance of Death, The Collection. A sequel to the 2009 movie The Collector, this continues the story of The Collector, a serial killer with a talent for elaborate traps. It kicks off with a jaw-dropping visceral sequence in a nightclub rigged with deadly surprises. How the collector set this up, who knows? But after this, you might think twice about visiting a nightclub. The chaos begins when Elena opens a box and unknowingly frees Arkin, triggering a wave of deadly traps. Rotating blades come raining down, slicing through partygoers and turning the dance floor into a literal meat grinder. Those who survive are then trapped and crushed by a slowly descending box. It's a clean sweep, and only Arkin manages to escape while Elena's kidnapped by the collector. Number 5. The Venus Flytrap, Saw 2. The second installment in the Saw franchise begins with yet another hardcore trap. This time, Jigsaw chooses police informant Michael as his victim for his habit of spying on others. Michael wakes up in a strange room with a bloodied eye and a spike-filled mask locked around his neck. A billy puppet appears on a screen, revealing that the key to his freedom lies within his eye and he only has 60 seconds to free himself. A frantic Michael accidentally triggers the timer, making his survival even more unlikely. Unable to bear the agony of cutting into his own eye, the nail-spiked mask snaps shut, ultimately killing him. This is one brutal trap that forces victims to face unimaginable self-torture or death.
Look, it's a little early, but so far everything matches Jigsaw's pattern.
Number 4. Waking World Booby Trap, A Nightmare on Elm Street. This masterpiece from Wes Craven follows Nancy and her friends, whose dreams are plagued by the hideous killer, Freddy Krueger.
Please, God.
This is God.
Unlike most horror scenes where the hero runs or hides, Nancy boldly decides to take Freddy down herself. After rigging her house with booby traps, Nancy pulls him into the real world, where every step he takes is met with a brutal surprise. The tables turn as the hunter becomes the hunted. First, Freddy is slammed in the chest by a sledgehammer, followed by a rigged light bulb explosion to the face. It's clear Nancy calculated every move, ultimately leading Freddy to the basement, where she sets him ablaze. Well, Freddy clearly underestimated Nancy and got himself nearly defeated. Number 3. The Razor Wire Maze, Saw. Another simple but brutal trap from the original film, this sadistic setup is a caged-in area in a basement lined with razor-sharp spikes.
Hello, Paul. You are a perfectly healthy, sane, middle-class male.
To survive, the victim must crawl through this maze to reach an exit door. But there's a catch. If they don't make it out in 2 hours, the door automatically locks, leaving them to die inside.
Find the path through the razor wire to the door. But hurry. At 3 o'clock, that door will lock, and then this room becomes your tomb.
The truth is, surviving unscathed is nearly impossible, especially with the victim almost naked and likely to be slashed in the process. In the film, Paul Leahy, the unfortunate victim, struggles to escape but meets a fatal end. Sure, this may look easy to beat, but let's not forget it's designed by one of horror's most sadistic villains, and definitely meant to kill.
This one's not fresh anymore. At least 3 weeks out. Victim's a 46-year-old male.
Number 2. The Entire Cabin, The Cabin in the Woods. Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard's anti-horror follows 5 stereotypical horror characters who venture into the woods for a stay in a remote cabin. But this isn't just any cabin, it's a house of terror. From hallucinations to zombies and monster attacks, along with other gruesome fates, horror after horror is visited on these poor souls. No matter what they do, they can't seem to escape this mind-altering reality, all orchestrated by technicians.
Lock them in.
When does it all end? Perhaps when the old gods are satisfied by the bloody performance that these unsuspecting teens put on. The brilliance of this movie is that the entire cabin is a rigged stage where characters are sacrificed for our entertainment. Survival was never an option for them. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Whole Thing. Circle. Another trap-based horror flick that feels like reality from hell, The Circle dives into an alien game where survival feels impossible. 50 strangers wake up in a strange room, only to realise that every 2 minutes someone dies.
It's us.
Us?
What do you mean?
We're choosing who dies.
They're clueless about what's happening until they realise they must vote who dies next.
If you don't have children, maybe you should volunteer. I think that's reasonable.
How do you escape such a consensus? You don't. Where still moving from your spot or touching someone else triggers an alarm and ignoring it means instant death.
All right, make them tie again. They'll both die. That's fair.
What? He's right. We'll take that trade. What are you doing?
No, don't do it. She's just a kid.
With panic high and death inevitable, surely some of us will make rash decisions, and that's where the film succeeds in drawing you in. The big question is, would you vote for someone's death? And what determines who should live or die?
There's no more time. Do it!
What horror movie scene has haunted you for years? Let us know in the comments section. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.